What is up, guys? Joe Holland here. I am on the road. I'm actually on the statewide famous Golden Road coming out of Millinocket, Maine, heading on another ice fishing camping trip to the famous Chamberlain Lake and Chamberlain Lake chain on the Allagash Waterway. We got a little bit of a sloppy situation here driving up this morning. It's been, a couple, 2-3 hours. The roads are slick as a bottle, and we've had rain all morning in 19 to 20 degrees, which doesn't really make a lot of sense, but that's the way it's coming. And it's just turning to snow now, which I'm kind of welcoming that, because she is pretty sloppy. It was ice on top of ice for quite a while. I got about an hour to go. If things go well and the traveling's good, I'm just kind of putting along. I'm running a little bit later than I'd like to, but hopefully I'll be able to get in there and get set up before too late tonight. The boys are already in there. I am meeting up with Brandon and Cameron tonight, maybe Kyle too. I'm not sure who else is in there already. You might remember those guys from my West Grand series. These guys are just a great group of diehards that go hard at their fishing and really, really love ice fishing. And they've spent a decent amount of time up here. So we're gonna hook up for this trip, and we'll probably fish together a bunch and maybe eat some meals together and should have a good time. I will be tenting either on the ice or near the ice. This chain of lakes is always subject to flooding with slush, which can be just brutal. So I might be just off the edge of the lake. I might be in the woods. We'll see once I get up here. This week is looking like we got some brutal cold coming. In tomorrow, let me think, tomorrow or the next day, I guess, is supposed to be a high of -10 with a low of 20 below. And that's what they're reading for the Millinocket to Ashland area. And it's usually about 10 degrees colder than that once you get inside here and on the water. We're gonna have some pretty cold days, pretty cold nights this week. Doesn't look like a lot of wind, so it shouldn't be too bad. One thing I'm really excited about, you might have seen in my previous video, is I'm bringing up the new snowmobile. It's got less than 100 yards on it for mileage. We're gonna have to break it in this trip, and I'm super, super excited to have that beast up here. The goal for today is to get in there, find the boys, get set up, and get ready for a big day of fishing tomorrow and a big day of fishing for the rest of the week. Timeline for this trip, I don't know. I might stay 4 days, I might stay a week, I might stay 10 days. I really don't have a schedule on this one, and a lot of times weather's my dictating factor of what drives me away or not. Other than just cold winter weather, it doesn't look like a lot coming. Couple snow days, but nothing crazy. But as we all know, these mountains up here, they do make their own weather, so who knows what's gonna happen once you get up here. Man, these roads are greasy. I'm gonna take it down a gear just to make sure I get up there. I'd rather show up a half hour or an hour later than I was planning on and get there safe than spend the night in a ditch. I've actually done that up here when I used to trap. We had a couple inches of snow on the ground and enough on the sides of the road. Then it rained, then it froze hard, and man, it was like worse than a bottle. It was like a skating rink, and I slid right through, and truck pretty much laid on its side, and I had to spend the night in the truck on its side, which I don't really like doing that too much. So I'm gonna slow her down a gear and try to make it in there safe. made it. I'm here at the Chamberlain parking lot. Finally made it. It was almost 6 hours. That was a lot of driving. I think I got all the blood squeezed out of that steering wheel. I white knuckled it for quite a bit of that trip. It was pretty ugly out there for quite a while. And looky here, there's the boys. Oh man, look at this outfit. Look at this outfit.
Howdy, dude.
What's up?
Give it a little drink.
Look at this guy. What's going on?
Not much, man.
How's it going?
Why is that happening? It is what it is.
You got a burp.
Burp itself.
You sit on the back, you burn it.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. I am loaded up for the first load. I think Brandon's gonna bring over his jet sled and just take my second load out for me, follow me out. I got my Otter sled full of my gear. The back one's another Otter Cabin Pro XT fishing shack, and I threw a couple things in that. Sled's loaded up. Got some goodies in the box. That's pretty well freighted with sleeping stuff, camping stuff. This has got some fishing stuff in the sled. I'm gonna wear that stuff out, and here's my second load right here that we're gonna load up in Brandon's. They were threatening me with a hot cup of coffee, so I think I'm gonna have to go for that threat, see what's going on over here at the shack, and don't want to waste too much time because it's gonna be pretty cold tonight. The wind's actually howling pretty good, surprisingly. But holy cow, look at all the brand new Expeditions. SWT, LE, holy cow.
And some deer steak.
Oh, now you're talking my language. Who got that deer?
That would be
Ohio veal right there, Joe.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
That's the good stuff.
Oh, try a piece of that.
All right, we are loaded up. I got my tandem going right here. Brandon's got a Otter sled over there with my floor and a couple other things in it. We're gonna run down lake and get me set up tonight. He's gonna drop off all my stuff with me, and then they're gonna take a ride to Allagash Lake, I guess. And I'm gonna set up, and then we'll meet back for dinner. What do you think, old boy? Yeah, I'll just go right down the side. All right, got it all out here one trip. Thanks, guys, really appreciate it. This rig of Brandon's with the high sides there, it's got like 12-inch sides built on it, that's the cat's meow, isn't it?
She works good.
Yeah.
That sled smells new, Joe.
yeah. I gotta burn the paper off of it. That's
the newness.
Those are the dollar bills burning off it.
Oh yeah, she'll get broken this week.
Yeah, so Cameron broke, yeah, you gotta like yank it,
You
I
gotta
guess.
really pull on it, don't you?
Yeah, she's new. So I don't know where it sits. Cameron's is brand new too, right?
Do that too.
How many miles on yours, bud?
Let's see, Joe. Oh, 75.
Nice. All right.
Time to trade her in.
All right.
So suppose that's normal, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
5:30, 6 o'clock. Chili dogs in the parking lot.
Sure.
Those pop out easy.
Oh, cool. How'd you do that?
These tabs right here, they have it so you can hold it just like that. It
That's
falls
awesome.
Right back in.
3:30 now, Joe. That'll give you a couple hours too.
I just need an hour. I'll probably get set up and get all ready for bed, and then come out.
That's what I figured.
Yeah. Awesome. All right, there they go. I'm in here, guys. It's pretty windy. It's a little chillier and windier than I expected. Tomorrow we got 35-mile-an-hour gusts and right around 0-degree temperature coming south-southwest. So south's right that way. So it should come that way through the woods. So if I move a little closer to the woods, I'll be protected. I'm not setting up on the ice because it is just a slush pit out there. I can't even get over how slushy it is. So no setting up on the ice this year. I'll be off the ice and set up on shore somewhere nice. So I'm gonna get set up. It was crazy slushy coming across that lake. If I had my old sled, I'd be out there digging it out and it'd be buried right now. But it's amazing with the new one. I mean, I wish you guys could have seen the smile on my face when I hit that slush and started to sink, and I just punched it and she just lifted up and went. It was crazy awesome. But time to set up. I got more gear, I think, than I've ever brought on a trip, just because I'm not too many miles from the truck, and figured I might be here a while. And we're fishing lake trout, we're fishing whitefish, and we're fishing brook trout. I'm videoing, I'm camping. Yeah, so a lot of gear. This is not a minimalist trip. If you guys are looking for a minimalist trip, stay tuned. I might shoot one of those at some time, but it's tough to be super comfortable in these conditions. We're gonna have negative 28 in 2 days. So that's not a time to be messing around trying to be a minimalist. Let's get set up. Thinking right here, I could tuck up in the woods, but I don't know. She's hot. Okay, got a slight over dig in this area. The thing I got to do is I just got to get around these rocks that are sticking up, so that way the floor is nice and flat. I could throw some snow back on to kind of make a padded level pad there. I'm gonna build a snow wall over here to help block some of that wind. And there is ice underfoot. The lake was this level not too long ago when it froze. It's dropped now and it comes up and down, so there is ice where I could at least get a screw somewhat into this, and then I might have to lay some logs down to hold it down in that 30-mile-an-hour wind. Okay, that's probably the longest it's taken me to lay the floor yet, because there's a lot of rocks here. Like I said, I'd love to be able to set up on the flat ice, but I can't because the slush could come up 5 or 6 inches overnight, and that would be terrible. That would be dangerous, very dangerous too. So I dug this whole area out, couldn't get it to lay flat. I even leveled it with snow, but there was just too many rocks. So I aborted that plan, came over here and dug this area out, and I got it to lay fairly flat. So now it's time to set up the tent before it gets dark. We are on the clock right now, fellas. That could be an issue. I'm not getting all these to go down because of the rocks. So I might have to get some logs or something to lay down on top of this. Because we got some serious winds coming, I guess. I hate to do it, but I gotta do it. Everything's fighting me right now. Nothing's going together well. So, situation like that, anger is your enemy. You got to just slow things down a little, take your time, and get everything under control. So we got the hut up, we got the floor down, bed's made. Now we got everything under control. We're gonna take a breath. I'm starting to sweat, and that's not a good thing out here either. So, and it's getting dark. So what I'm gonna do is finish setting up in here and get camp made and ready to go. All right, looking better. Okay, I'm set up. I got the shell up, the floor down. Everything in here is pretty well set up. And now it's time to unpack, and then I'm gonna run out and eat some dinner with Brandon and the boys. I got a mess in here now, but everything's in. We're out of the wind. And now it's just a matter of unpacking. Got a new addition my buddy built for me. That is a boot dryer that fits underneath the buddy heater, and then a little tabletop up here, and then a couple rails to put some traps and dry out the reels at night. It's a little big. We might have to downsize it a little bit so it fits in here a little bit better. Space is definitely an issue. Made it?
Good ride.
How was it?
Not bad.
Did you make it in?
Yep, went to Allagash Lake and back.
Nice.
Cross that off the bucket list.
Good ride?
65 miles round trip.
Wow.
Your lights are on, you're
Yeah,
open.
exactly.
Open for business.
Yeah, and usually they're quite pickled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. As a matter of fact, this guy was too.
That guy last night couldn't have hit a bull in the ass with a banjo, I'll tell you, Joey. Yeah, he was
That's funny.
quite a character, that's for sure.
What do we got going on out here for bait?
I got a pack.
Oh, we got some aeration going. Mark's set up.
Got some cat ice on there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She's that was Mark's bait pail from today. But
We got some nice smelt in there.
oh man, these are we got beautiful smelt. Come from Difference Bait. We brought it up with
those
us.
are good smelt.
Oh yeah. There's a 5-pounder right now licking his chops over these things. Yep. Beauties.
Yeah.
We ain't lost 3 or 4 pieces. This one.
A lot of them I took off the hook.
Oh, you got smelting there too?
Oh, that's full. We brought 15 dozen.
Wow. And what are you guys running for a system here?
It's Mark bought that off Amazon, but we just a little inverter.
Huh.
It's got a 6-hose manifold on it, and we're running it off a car battery. We're running all of our tanks off it. And
Pretty
what
awesome.
do you think of the lettering, Joe?
I love it.
yeah. I
Yeah.
had them decals made up.
I love it. This is awesome. It's quite a. It's
Crooker
quite
than
a.
we are, but frig.
It's quite an impressive shack, really.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it sleeps 4 pretty comfortably.
4 of us. We stayed 13 nights in the shack up here last year. You know what I mean? And,
Yeah.
and there was never a cold night. You
Yeah.
know. Right. And it's not that heavy.
Not in there, but outside was brutal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, we a lot of below zero nights.
Yeah.
We've had air on them since we got here pretty much.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love it.
We didn't even need to run it.
Nope.
Beautiful.
I live for it. We got a whole week, Joe, to show them how it's done.
I know it. We'll get it done, fellas. I have a lot of high hopes. Every time I fish with these guys, not only have we caught a lot of fish, but we've caught some pretty good fish. And if nothing else, you know, you ain't gonna get cheated as a viewer because we're gonna go hard.
Yeah.
We ain't gonna go hard at them. We know that.
There's a few people at home are gonna say Tuesday morning, these guys are crazy. You
We
know?
are pretty crazy, yeah. And we'll show you a lineup of some nice new sleds too tomorrow
Yeah.
when we get some daylight. And
Ellis Brook in the morning.
Ellis Brook. Okay, so we're heading to Ellis Brook off of Chamberlain Lake.
Southwest heavy wind. I think we'll be semi-protected. If we're not, we're gonna continue on. We gotta find a place out of the wind. We can't fish 35. It's gonna be
Yeah. Knots or
good.
miles an hour?
miles an hour.
That's a ripping wind, especially at 0.
Nothing you want to stand out in,
No, especially at 0.
but
We might, this chili, we might want to eat some of that tomorrow too.
yeah. Take the leftovers with us.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
Moose.
What's for dinner?
Oh yeah, that's gonna be all right.
Oh yeah. Hey, we can help us.
Oh,
We got.
they sound pretty good.
So guys, we are back at it. You might recognize a couple of these guys from last year's West Grand Slam, and even Brandon from catching a giant brookie up here last year.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a huge brook trout. I can't even.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I can't even tell you how happy I am to be here with these guys. They got a beautiful setup here. We'll look at it a little bit better when we get some more light. But what do you guys think?
Loving it.
Hoping for the best tomorrow. I don't know. It's gonna be cold, but I think we're gonna catch some fish tomorrow. I feel good about it.
I got a good feeling.
Yeah,
We got a little
some
bit of a
weather.
ride. We got an 8 to 9 mile ride. I feel good about it.
Yeah, what are you thinking? Brookies tomorrow?
There's a shelf there. They
Both.
caught some nice
Both.
Lakers last time. I think we'll see both tomorrow.
Yeah, you want to set for both or?
That's what we're gonna try.
Yeah.
You can set
Ellis Brook comes
5
off
to
like
25.
shoal a long ways. Like there's not a lot of water. It's just mud flat bottom, and then it will roll off, and you get out there quite a ways.
Yeah.
You'll get out into like 10, 20. You have to go a long ways to get 25 there, won't we, Cameron?
Yeah, I mean a little ways.
Yeah.
And then the next day, what are we looking at for weather the next day?
Balmy. We're gonna settle in, find a good jig hole, and hope for the best that day, Joe. Yeah, we're
What day is it supposed to blow too?
we're gonna
Is
have
that
some
that day?
wind tomorrow, 35.
35
southwest.
tomorrow, okay. Are we gonna be any protected or are we gonna be right into it?
Real feel in the morning, negative 16, and then we're gonna drop down into a real feel of 29 below Tuesday
Nice.
morning.
Nice.
So it's gonna feel like Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should, it should anyway.
Yeah. What's the plan for the week? Who's coming in? Who's here?
We got Cameron and I and Mark first of the week here, and then Wednesday Mark's gonna leave us, and then
And one extra.
Colin's gonna join
wanna
us, and
leave one in
Slim's
the
gonna
back
join
here.
us, and we'll have a group of 4 again to go at it again.
Do you want to introduce Mark to the YouTube world?
Yeah, sure. My buddy Mark, we've fished together off and on for 20 years, you know what I mean? Started at West Grand, and
Yep.
had a lot of fun together, and he come up here with us last year, showed us how to catch some brook trout, I
He
guess.
did?
So if we're gonna put any numbers on the board, that's why we brought him.
Yep.
Good. So these guys got up here. They were able to fish today, right?
Yep.
Was it today your first day?
We got here about 10 o'clock last night.
How'd it go today?
We caught 2 decent. Mike got a nice brook trout, 17 or so. I got a decent 17 or so. Another small 12.
I got nothing to talk about.
You don't mess around with the little ones though, Cameron. We've seen you before. You only go for the big ones.
Yeah, we're just waiting until the end of the week.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, anything's possible.
Yeah. What are we working on for dinner tonight, fellas?
Oh, jalapeno cheddar bratwurst.
Ooh, nice.
With the hot moose chili.
This is the hot moose chili.
Wow.
Yeah, it might be a better night than morning. I don't know about that, Joe.
That's gonna work right there, boys.
That'll fill a void, won't it?
Oh,
Yeah.
boys.
Oh yeah. That's gonna be just right.
So who shot this moose?
Me and my buddy Josh, Zone 1.
Oh, nice.
North of here. Yeah, we camped up, we tented in town of Allagash right there. Monday morning we woke up. It was 20 degrees. She was cold in the old tent.
Probably not, not an insulated tent.
No,
probably.
no,
You was
not
tenting?
insulated. Oh yeah, we was tenting. Yeah. Just old Ozark Trail tent. Brought the buddy heat. I'd left that on, but thank God. We're good.
What was it for moose?
What do you weigh? 750 pounds.
Perfect.
45 inch spread, I think.
Nice.
Nice moose.
Nice.
Shot him opening day in the evening.
I do like eating moose, I think, more than anything.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I brought a pile of moose burger.
Yeah.
I love moose burger.
Not only is it good in stuff, but it'll stand on its own.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's all we've eaten.
Yeah.
You know, that's all we eat. Tacos, moose burger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moose burger for everything.
That
Nice.
moose burger we had done was A1.
All right. Made it back. Made it back to the shack. That's a good feeling. There was a pile of slush, a ton of slush out there. I'm just besides myself. I cannot even believe how awesome that new snowmobile is. That's the smartest thing I ever did. You know, coming out here and doing the type of stuff I'm doing was to buy that snowmobile, because I hit like probably a mile's worth of slush out there. You know, 5-6 inches of snow on top of 6 inches of slush on top of the ice, and there's no way at all my other snowmobile would have made it through it. I'd be sitting out there, you know, at night trying to dig out a snowmobile with another mile ahead of me of slush. And today, pulling those 2 sleds out, it was really heavy, a lot of weight, full of gear, all my gear, and I hit that same slush bucket and just hit the throttle, and she just floated a little bit and kind of slid and just pew right through it. So I am pretty stoked about that snowmobile, guys. I'll talk more about it, I'm sure, a lot over the course of this trip, but already it's already worth it just after that, getting through all that slush. And conditions, we're in for some super cold, some serious cold weather coming, and there's a lot of slush on the ice, so it's going to be pretty messy. Right now we're looking at like mid-20s. It's starting to snow. It's about 7:30 at night. I'm going to tidy up camp a little bit more, kind of unpack everything just right, brush the old chompers, and probably do a little bit of reading, because there's no service up here. We're so far from town. There's no service for my iPad or anything, so I can't return comments or follow anything on YouTube while I'm up here on this trip. So it'll be going old school, reading some books, and I don't even know what I threw in there for books. I threw a couple good ones in there, I hope. I'm gonna hit breakfast here in the morning. I had a little problem. The eggs fell out of my tote when I was unloading the truck, so I know I cracked quite a few of them. We'll see. I brought 2 dozen. I don't think I have 2 dozen right now, and there's not many chickens running around, so I gotta make do with what I have. But I got taters, some toast, and some eggs, and I chopped up a bunch of onions and peppers before I left home and got those in bags too. So I'll probably do a pretty good sized breakfast here in the morning. Definitely do coffee here. Before I go on any trip, especially to a new body of water that I don't fish a lot, and even the ones that I do fish a lot, the laws change so frequently in Maine as the biologists try to manage each fishery. So before I left, I printed up all the laws and the special laws on every body of water connected to this, to Chamberlain, and to other bodies of water nearby, with all the limits, the sizes, when you could fish it, what you could use for bait. And, you know, if you guys live out of state, you can kind of see they're pretty extensive, the laws, and they can get confusing. So what I've learned is I just copy and paste it and put it in a file and just print them for every lake. So I got several lakes here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different lakes printed out on this, and what the game laws are for each of them. So that way I am fishing within the laws, and that's a good, responsible thing that every angler should do if you're going to plan a trip to any lake. And then, you know, in case we get slushed out or blown off these lakes, that's why I have the other area lakes, in case we got to go to a smaller lake or try somewhere else. On the same note, I printed up another fishing license copy. I got my snowmobile registration, I got my trailer registration in a plastic bag, and that'll stay either in my bibs or it'll stay on the snowmobile. On this trip, it'll probably just stay in that big box in the snowmobile, and if a warden checks us or any law enforcement officer, I'll have all my paperwork ready to go and dry in that bag. All right, guys, let's take a look at camp. We got a couple new additions and a couple new tweaks to camp for this one. I knew it was going to be colder, so I ended up bringing some more propane. It's in the truck, which is only 4 miles away, which is pretty nice, so I could always run out and get resupplied, bring the old can out and empty can out, new can in, or as I get close I can just bring another one in, which is nice. New stuff so far, I'm trying out one of these blower fans right here. That's a heat activated blower fan. As you can see, it's ripping pretty good, and I just have it setting on the big buddy heater right there. It's not even attached to it yet. I'll attach it if I like it. I want to see if it just pushes the warm air around. That's one thing that the big buddy heaters without the fans lacks, is moving the hot air around. It doesn't move the hot air around as well, so the area right in front of it's usually really hot without a fan. So I have hung a fan from the ceiling as well. I broke the clip that hangs it. That's why I don't have it on this camping trip. The Coleman, I'm getting it dialed in pretty good. I haven't done the tweaks to it that some of the viewers had mentioned to get those dials adjusted just right, but it burns so hot compared to my other one that I can't even grab my coffee pot anymore. So I put a wooden handle on my coffee pot. Tomorrow will be the first go with that thing to see if that works and holds up. I just formed it around the metal handle and threw a couple dowels in and glued them, so we'll see if the glue holds after heating it up and perking some coffee. But I got another Milwaukee light up here that I could bring with me or throw in the back of that snowmobile pretty well. This great big thing in here, that is my new boot drying rack, so the buddy heater will fit right underneath those boots, and each night I can swap out if I'm using rubber or leather boots and dry them there. Now it does have a spot in the back to hang other boots, but it's kind of hard to get to. I'm actually going to cut that back part out so this can actually fit against that wall a little bit better. But on the top here is like a catch-all where I can throw some batteries and some battery chargers and stuff, and I got my olive oil and some honey up there too. But that's about it for new stuff. I've only forgotten one thing for this trip that I can think of now, is a porcelain coffee mug, which I really like to have one drinking coffee. I don't know why, even when I'm camping, I do like it a little bit better. But I forgot that, so I do have a metal one, like a Yeti, that I can drink out of too. But I'll check the truck and see if I don't have one kicking around in there. Every once in a while I do have one in there. I'm thinking maybe there's one on the passenger seat, so I'll check tomorrow when I go out and see the boys. But that's the new stuff. Right now it's snowing out there. It's mid-20s still, and it's just kind of spitting snow. I don't think it's going to accumulate to much more than an inch, so it doesn't seem like it's going to be much. But camp's looking pretty cozy. A couple things that make it really nice is, you know, with the wood floor, I brought a broom, which just sounds like something you'd never even ever think about bringing for ice fishing. It sweeps all the snow out, and if the snow turns to standing water with the buddy heater, then I can sweep that out as well. So once you get that water out of here and the snow out, then everything can stay pretty dry. But once you get the water and the snow melting in here, then the condensation builds up pretty good. So a broom's always pretty handy. The boot hanger is going to be The boot dryer is going to be really handy. And then hangers, you know, like I don't think you should put a ton of stuff hanging off the ceiling, you know, because you end up just pulling those down to close it anyway. But it is nice hanging some jackets up and some shirts up on those. So hangers are pretty good. Yeah, that's about it. Over here I have a tote with some paper towels, and this is all food over here. There's cans in the bottom. This tote right here has various camping stuff and batteries. Over here I'm going to have the lights. You know, that one tower does a really good job. In the corner there is my bag of clothing and some warm weather clothes. I'm all set up here with just the sleeping bag. I might bring a blanket in tomorrow night, just because if we're looking at negative 20 or negative 30 degrees Fahrenheit without the wind, it wouldn't hurt to have an extra blanket. Got my chair here, got some electronics behind me stored, and then over here is my refrigerator. There's a section that the floor didn't quite cover, so it goes right down to the ice and snow, and I throw the food over there that I like to keep cold. And if I need to thaw it out, I just bring it over here, if it'll thaw out. But that's about it. Camp's super cozy. The floor is the deal for me. Having that wood floor there it took a lot of time today to set it up. Probably the longest I've ever taken, because I had to get off the lake because there's so much slush out there, and there's more slush coming all the time. I don't know why. If you guys know why it's making so much slush, leave it in the comments. So I'm about probably a foot higher than the lake, and there's rocks here, so I'm actually on the shoreline, but there's ice over it where either the snow had melted or where the lake froze, and then it kept lowering that foot. So there is some ice here. I got the cleats and the spikes to go into some of them, but not all of them, which is why I banked it a lot. I bent my shovel. I think shoveling into too many rocks, and the snow's really heavy. So I think I was going to build like a really nice wall on this side with that 35-mile-an-hour wind coming to block some of that wind. But with my shovel bent, we'll see. We'll see how early I get up in the morning too. Oh my God! Don't horse him. Don't horse him. Yeah! Woo! Yes! Beautiful one. What a brookie! Oh yeah. Right there. Oh yes! Woo-hoo-hoo! Woo! Yeah! Baby! Nice one, Mark. There's a brookie. It's a nice brookie. Yeah. Another like 17 inches. That was the prettiest one yet. Nice one. Nice. All that. No. Whoa!